Boom. AOA podcast.
Yeah, right there.
Wednesday, May 25th. Yeah.
There you go.
Slapping an official date on it.
Oh, God. I thought you were like working on a belch or something.
It's possible. It's all possible. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard recap. Depp takes the stand. TMZ guy, Kate Moss. We got it all for you. Josh Duggar sentenced. Steven Tyler. I'm obsessed with this story. Enters rehab after spending $6 million on drugs.
That seems like a lot. I don't know. That could be me.
It's more than I've spent on drugs. Kim Kardashian mocked for her food endorsement. Putin, is he on his way out? Trump's primary report card. We've got our members merch giveaway to talk about. Modgate. Controversy abound in our
And then there's Modgate.
And so much more. We got an episode and we got to get it started. So let's go. She wasn't here at the start, and now she's here. Look at that.
Freaking
Magic.
me out. That was weird.
And then there were 3.
And then your microphone didn't work.
Yeah, what's going on there? You need a jiggle?
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
We could hear you.
Replug.
But it sounds like you're in the hallway. Oh.
There we go.
Perfect. Don't do anything.
Johnny Depp takes the stand. Amber Heard recap. You with us now, J Sabs?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
There you is. Did you watch today? Were you glued to the trial?
I mean, there wasn't a place that I didn't take my phone today with me. So
nice.
That's why it's at 7%.
Good. Well, let's put the ball in your court. You're running this topic this evening. Show.
What have we learned from today's trial?
Yeah.
First, I was late dropping my kid off to preschool because I was watching something about the trial.
Nice.
That's how the day started.
Priorities, good.
Great.
See
all those people that are like, "Oh, J Sabs never shows up on time." Yeah. Look at what she's sacrificing her child's education.
Right. I'm doing my research.
That's right. Fuck you guys.
Do your research.
Okay. It was so good today. It was I don't.
How many orgasms did you have today?
5.
Nice.
With no one in the room.
Slow day.
And when you weren't even doing anything, was that true? Is that a true statement?
True.
That's amazing.
It was just Johnny talking really slow, and I was like, "Oh God."
All right, where do you want to start? Depp on the stand? Is that where we started today?
Yeah.
My highlights were Depp on the stand, TMZ guy, and Kate Moss. Go ahead, Jason. Take it away.
Basically, well, my favorite psychiatrist came back.
Okay,
so
they cross-examined
blonde woman.
Okay.
Not the guy from Back to the Future. Not him.
Right.
Got
it.
So what happened today? Give us a recap.
I mean, so I was waiting for the Kate Moss part, but honestly, like it was 3 minutes long. She just basically said that he never pushed her or hit her or anything. And that's what Amber Heard said that she heard.
Right.
Yeah, Amber Heard. Now,
Heard.
Objection, hearsay.
So I thought she was one of Amber Heard's witnesses.
No.
Didn't Amber Heard's team bring her on? Or was Johnny Depp's team?
No, it was Johnny for the rebuttal.
I got you.
And then the TMZ guy, I couldn't wait for that. And honestly, that was only said yesterday, the day before.
So what did the TMZ guy have to say?
So basically, 2 things. I guess the bigger thing is that she leaked the video of her when he was throwing stuff around his kitchen. I think it was his kitchen. And she said, "Oh, well, the video was leaked to TMZ, and I don't know how it happened." And basically, he said it was her because they have to verify everything that comes in through the website. Any tips or leads, you have to fill out your name, your number, all information, and they have to verify it. So she sent this in through a Dropbox link. And then actually the video was cut for court. And
Cut for court. I feel like they would
meaning,
want to
like,
show everything.
no, not because it was her team that brought it, and they cut the part where she was mocking him and laughing at him at the end. Like,
I mean, isn't that like? First of all, aren't like audio tapes, audio recordings not admissible evidence? Isn't that like a thing?
well,
No.
it was a video.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I thought audio tapes were not admissible.
now, is it? Now, I didn't see most of this, but is it true that the Dropbox that she sent it in on was named Amber Heard's anonymous Dropbox? Is that true? That's what I heard.
That would be funny.
It's pretty good.
And then the other thing was that the day that she filed a order of protection against him, she went to a lawyer's office, or when she was leaving, I guess she tipped them off that she was there, so they would be outside taking a picture of her. Like, that was one of the paparazzi's assignment, was to go to this lawyer's office in the parking lot and get a picture of her. And they questioned the TMZ guy, like, is this normal? Like, paparazzi hang out in, like, lawyers' offices, parking lots? And he's like, no. That was their assignment because someone tipped them off.
So someone was her.
Yes.
All right.
Mm.
So, and that gives her. Isn't that then leading to that? Like, she was dressing it up to make it look
Yes,
worse than it
like
is?
planning.
Yeah.
So is that what they concluded from that, or was it like she was trying to expose? Like,
No.
What was their defense of that?
Well, there really wasn't a defense because, I mean, this guy said that she said this whole time that it was anonymous, and she doesn't know how the video got leaked to TMZ. It was her.
Did they
And I'll
prove
be
it was
honest-
her, or we're assuming?
Well, the guy said it. He said it came through, the website. Like,
witness
there's
said
actual
it.
evidence. Yeah. But it is. I know this for a fact that it is true. I know, like, most of these stories that come out about people, like these shocking stories, you're like In Touch or Us Weekly, it comes from sources close to the celebrities, meaning like their family members or their friends.
Oh, I'm sure it'd have to be someone with inside knowledge. Most of
So
the
it's
time,
not
right?
like it's not like a random person who overheard, like the Jessica Simpson when she was her divorce, like that big whoa, like her best friend leaked it.
Yeah.
And I know because my friend worked there at the time. And she said this happened, like every story, it's from either their friend or family.
You have like this, and I don't know if you're going to get this reference, but you have like this Bob Sacamano thing from
What?
Seinfeld where your friend
It
does
is true,
everything.
though, my friend.
No, I know.
I know a lot
I'm
of
picturing
people.
I'm picturing your friend as one person, and that this
No.
person is everybody. When you
No.
say, "Oh, my friend Bob Sacamano used to work at TMZ," or "My friend Bob Sacamano got married and it was a
Actually,
weird thing."
I told you before, TMZ called me once to see if I had dirt on someone. And I was like, yeah, no comment. Thank you. No
Was
comment.
that someone, Frank?
No, it was someone who was from our neighborhood who was on American Idol. And they saw
Oh.
that we were friends on Facebook. They got my number somehow. And they called me and they were like, hey, it's blah, blah, blah from TMZ. And I was like,
That's
who?
nice.
And they were like, yeah, we want to know about something that was going on in the news. And I was like, no comment. Thank you. You could speak to my lawyer.
So what I'm getting from this is that the three of us should audition for American Idol. That's
Absolutely.
what I got out of that whole thing.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say
Okay.
I can back up what Janina's saying because when I worked for the Islanders, which was it was just in college, I remember asking my boss, like, I'm like, hey, when there's like sources that say like somebody's gonna get traded or whatever, I'm like, who is that? He's like, oh, it's us. He's like, who do you think?
Yeah.
it is?
Well,
He's like, look around. There's nobody here but us. Like, who do you? It's either
who
the
do you
players.
think?
agent or it's the team leaking it to the
Mhm.
press. Like,
Right.
there's no big secret. And like but you always think there's some grant, like, oh, sort like somebody found out or somebody must have leaked the info, like leak or what. It always comes from the people involved. It always.
Yeah, who the hell else is? First of all, if it's not from the inside, who's it going to be? The guy running the snack bar? Like
Yeah,
who is it going to be?
exactly. You think it's like some grand thing, and it's either the team or it's the agent of the player, and that's it. So Hollywood runs basically the same exact way. So go ahead.
Right.
All right. So what else
You were gonna say.
with Amber Heard? Go
Um,
ahead.
just the guy from TMZ. I loved that Amber Heard lawyer was like, "Is it true? Like, you're doing this for your 15 minutes of fame?" And he was like,
I heard. Yeah,
15 minutes of fame? Like,
I saw that.
no, I could say the same thing about you. And I was like, snap.
Yeah, and he was like, he's like, isn't it true you wanted to be part of this trial? You were trying to become part, and he was like, no, I was asked to. I didn't want to, but
I have that if you want to hear it. Should we play it?
Sure.
I'm surprised he didn't say I work for fucking TMZ, lady. What you know?
Yeah, I don't
Do you
need
like? Do you know how many
this.
celebrities I
Objection,
see?
Your Honor. Argumentative. I can ask that question. Oh, ruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
No.
Did you see the? I did see the reaction from the people behind the lawyer. They were like they were
A
like
lot of-
mouths open.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's great. He went the old Spock answer. That's highly logical.
I liked his answer a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that was all right. So we got him. So now you said that Kate Moss was only up there for a few minutes. She pretty much backed up everything Johnny Depp said.
Yeah, and it was only video. It was a video conference anyway, so
Well, she
Oh,
said that she slipped on the stairs because it was raining. That was
Yeah.
basically her story. She's like,
that's it. And he helped me up. That's what she said. So
Yeah, that bastard.
That son
Right.
of a bitch. He put his coke down for 2 seconds to help her up.
Well, that was the amazing part. Yeah, that he wasn't high off his ass that he could help somebody up the stairs.
Right.
right.
This is because it's right. It's people in the chat. It's a circus. It's unbelievable. They're bringing in people. I mean, I guess that their angle now, Johnny Depp's position is character. He's just bringing in character witnesses and people that are vouching for his, being a sane person. So that's Kate Moss, I guess, and
Well, they also want to show, like, usually when the abuser has history of abuse.
Right,
So if
right.
he has no history with Kate Moss, then why would he do it with her?
I mean, that could start at any time. But yeah, you're right. History, I'm sure, would play a lot. It would help with the jury. See, I never did anything like this. I have no history of this. You're right.
Yeah, he even brought a metadata expert.
No, I was
on.
going to say that one too. I like
Go
that
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he basically testified that the metadata, because everything that even when you take a picture on the phone, it's all in there. If it's
Mhm.
altered, what your zoom is, what your f-stop exposure, people have no idea that their phone is doing. It's all there. Even when you take a picture with like a real DSLR camera, it'll tell you like what all the settings are at the moment that picture was taken. So if anything
Right.
changes in there, they know right away.
Right.
Mhm.
And this guy was like, it's clearly altered. Because even just I think he was just saying, even by he didn't have to do all the complicated stuff. He's like, well, the name alone, the fact that, because when you save a picture, when you alter it and save it, and you save it as like 0.1 or whatever, that's right there. It's evidence that you've altered it. You've
Well,
changed
This is not the original version.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
He was saying that they changed pictures. Like you could tell if you save a picture from a photo, what's it
Like
called?
from one device to another kind of thing.
No, like kind of like a Photoshop, like those.
Oh, if you
types
save
of
it as like a
Yeah.
PDF or a
Oh no,
file
no,
type.
not even that. Not even the file type. They could just tell like if you save it on your phone from one of those photo imaging apps.
I'm sure they could.
And it has nothing to do with the type, like
No.
JPEG versus PDF, whatever.
No, it's just where it
They
came
could
from.
just tell. They could
Yeah.
just tell.
Do you think there's a future for Amber Heard in developing a phone app that will put a bruise on you so you can easily
Ooh.
save the picture of like you?
I'm gonna
Oh, look,
need
I
that
got-
in a few years. What?
yeah.
But I feel like the metadata will show you used a.
no, you
filter.
just put in the metadata. This photo was not altered by the Amber Heard app.
Oh, perfect. Then you're all set.
See, I have to think of everything, Frank.
Yeah, someone does.
Everything.
They obviously didn't.
Nope.
All right, so
Amber,
give
me a call.
So today was decidedly a win for the Depp team.
Well, I
Score
think
one
he's.
for Depp.
I mean, even when he was up there, he, I don't know. To me, he just looked a little sad today. He
Well,
did.
This is it's a long.
Well, I think he
grueling
gets
thing.
sad at the end of the filming of any of his movies. I think that's what
Right.
you're seeing right now.
So this is how much longer? What is it? We don't even know how much longer it's going to go, right? Do we know?
No, supposedly Friday is it, but they're gonna do. I mean, they're not gonna. I think the testimony and everything stops Friday, right? And then they got to do all the other. They got to deliberate and figure that out.
I guess, yeah. Oh, yeah. Once the jury deliberates, that's open ended. That takes however long that takes.
Because I believe they're going to still continue to call witnesses up until Friday. Please let me know if I'm wrong about that.
I think you're right. Closing arguments are supposed to be Friday, but I think that his team has 10 hours of some kind of time, and her lawyers have 2 hours of some kind of time. I don't know what the time allotted is for exactly, but
That's weird.
yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they get equal amount of time?
I think they used it up.
Hold on. A source close to JSAB says that you were late picking up your daughter from school today. Is that any truth to that rumor?
Yeah, JSAP said that.
No.
The source would be JSAP's. On
The
that.
source was GSABs. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know him.
Uh-oh.
He
Yeah.
also goes by G Spot.
That's a myth. No.
Right.
I know G-Spot.
They
But yeah, no, I don't know how long. If this ends Friday, I mean, what's the country going to do? Who are we going to?
What are we going to do next?
We're
I
going to
don't
be
even
lost.
know.
We're going to be
I don't
walking
know.
around. We're going to be walking around like that John Travolta gift that we won't know what to do with ourselves.
I think we're going to end the show. Is there any point in continuing after
no,
this?
there is
Wow.
nothing at all.
That's it.
I liked when they showed one of his text messages to someone about, he was talking about Amber. Of course, she had, a tear. And just the way he was talking, I don't believe it. That's not my Johnny. That's not my Johnny. And he even said, like, I didn't write that. And
so
honestly,
he's saying that they faked the text message?
you can't, here's the thing, and he's correct. Say someone takes your phone. You can't prove 1,000% that someone actually
else
wrote
didn't
the
write it.
text. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, you could prove that it came from your phone, but you
What
can't
do you-
prove that
what do you-
someone
what
else.
do you- What are you wowing at? It's true.
The depths of which you will protect this man are unlimited. Unlimited.
The Johnny Depps.
Suddenly, the phone fairy is coming in and texting from Johnny's phone.
Wow.
Poop emoji.
Yeah.
But what he said about Amber, I mean, supposedly, was it nice?
So what was in the message?
I have the text. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There's
Who was
some of
it
it I
to?
do
It's just-
like. You can guess which one the part I do like. Go ahead.
So it was from Johnny to a friend of his?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They put it into this weird court evidence format,
Yeah.
which usually when you get a text message, there's a screenshot.
Right.
And I don't know why they didn't just submit the screenshot. But
So
anyway,
it was Robin. Mm-hmm.
it says here direction incoming, which means that she received the
Right, she received the text.
Bird's
Oh, it was
right.
to-
Go ahead.
So it was to her. It was to Amber?
yes.
So from Johnny to Amber. Okay.
Wait, this might be something different. Read it, and because I know exactly what they
All right,
said.
well,
Go ahead.
there's two here. He says, right, exclamation points, exactly. Molly's pussy is rightfully mine. Should I not just bust in
This is
and
it.
remove its hinges tonight? Question mark.
Yikes.
Who's Molly? And what's
Is Molly a drug?
of all the
Molly's
years of
AKA
sleeping with
Janine.
women,
Go
I've
ahead.
never removed a woman's hinges. I don't even know what that means.
That sounds painful.
Honey,
So
do you
hot.
have your hinges? I don't
So hot.
Are you hinge worthy?
remove its hinges. How do you remove a vagina hinge?
I think it's more of a metaphor,
That's a new one to me.
hopefully.
Then the next one is, I want to change her understanding of what it is like to be thrashed about like a pleading mackerel.
Oh my god.
I need, I want, I take.
That's
Who the
it.
hell is Molly? And
That's
she,
it.
so,
I can't take it anymore.
oh my God.
I'm not even kidding you. I came down here.
All right.
I
Calm yourself a little bit.
but when I read that and I read pleading mackerel, like how is that sexy?
That's not
at
sexy.
all?
That's a dying fish. And how does that turn you on?
This guy could write anything, and the girls would just be just
Doesn't
losing
even
it.
matter.
turning into
Rashing
slugs
around
right
like
before our eyes.
That's terrible. So who is Molly? Do we know what he's talking about?
Somebody in the
Molly.
chat says Molly is ecstasy, but I don't think.
Yes.
Well,
That's-
Molly is a drug, sure.
Well, it is, but I don't think is that the context in this particular.
Is that what
instance?
he's
It
talking
might
about?
be. Hey, would you blow me? Wrote that. Yes.
Oh, so this isn't even sexual. I guess.
Right.
This is about doing a shitload of Molly? What did they say in the court when they read this? What was the context? Why would they bring this up?
I guess just to show how he was possessive. I mean,
Yeah, but if he's talking about drugs,
yeah, but
Yeah.
again, you can't say that.
I honestly don't know if anybody knows the context other than they had these text messages and her team was just like, "Look, this guy's a savage."
Continue. Continue, please.
oh, there's more. Oh, good.
Depp denied writing the text to his assistant, Steve Duders.
What
Duder.
a name. What a name.
What a name, guy's name.
How do you
is
not
Duder.
just call him Duder?
Yeah.
He's Steve. There's no Steve anymore. You're just Duder.
Duder told me that she dutied in my bed.
Mm-hmm. In my
What was
pocket
that?
beating.
Objection, restate that. Overruled.
Duder.
Though the message came from his phone, the text referenced a woman named Molly, although it's unclear who that is. Well, whoever it is, she no longer has hinges on her vagina.
Molly Ringwald. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
Molly should be easy to identify as the hingeless vagina woman. So
Well, whose
Right.
job is it to go around looking for hinges on women's vaginas?
Yours.
Oh, all right.
I think you'd be good at that, Frank.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should be all right.
So I'm good
with
at
it.
something.
All right, so this wraps up on Friday. Programming note: we will not be on Friday. We will not be
Shocker.
on Monday as well
Oh
for
my
Memorial
God.
Day.
This is unprecedented.
Well, we have
This-
Modgate to talk about,
That's true.
so that'll explain everything.
Oh,
Just kidding.
no.
Modgate has
What
nothing
is
to
it?
do with.
Oh, okay.
We just need a break. It's just time to take a couple of days, and Memorial Day is the right time to do that. Throw in Friday because we all have a drinking problem that we haven't been attending to, and that's how
That
we
sounds
get the
about
two
right.
shows off. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Listen.
but we will do a members merch giveaway on Friday. We'll release a video
Ooh.
on Friday of us doing the random picking of the lucky member to win a merch item. So that'll be coming out on Friday. So look forward to that. And if you haven't joined to become a member yet, make sure you do so because you can be a part of the exclusive merch giveaway that we're going to do.
Do it. Become a member.
Yeah. So those two things right there.
Cool.
Anything else on Depp and Heard from the day?
I'm gonna
We
wrap it
covered
up.
a lot.
I think you covered a lot of it.
It sounds succinct. I think we're good.
We were talking about what her career is going to be like, what his career is going to be like. We're talking about Camille being, the next it girl. What about her lawyers? Do you think her lawyers ever really get a serious fucking
No.
case again.
No.
They have fucked up everything, like every
Well,
step of the way.
What do you have to work with, though? That's the thing. I mean, look at the OJ lawyers on both sides.
Oh, here we go.
What?
No, not you. I'm reading the chat. Go ahead.
No, both
Go ahead.
sides is they were both huge names after the case, and there's one winner and one loser. This will be the same thing, I think, and I'm sure they'll get cases. The Herd team doesn't have a lot to work with, so it's hard to.
So you're saying it's like noble of them to take on this shitty case?
No, I'm saying it's not their fault if what they have to work with is not as
that's their
defensible.
job, though. That is
Yeah.
their job.
Of course,
I just
But
think
you
they
can only
look
do
so
so much.
stupid. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I just think they look.
there were
Really
a bunch
dumb.
of stupid questions and answers going back and forth. I'll give you that.
We didn't talk about the Keith. What was the thing with the drugs? He was testifying. I saw that clip, and he was like, "There was a lot of drugs." He's like, "That's a lot of marijuana." Was that Keith Richards or somebody else?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Seems
Jason
that-
Momoa again. The fake one. I don't know.
I want to see a spin-off about Duder.
Me too. I'd like to see more Duder. You know what we didn't talk about is that Jason Momoa. Did we talk about this? That he fought to keep her on?
Oh yeah, we talked about it last show.
I'm still surprised by that. I'm still shocked that he fought so hard to.
I mean, you get close with people when you're working with them on projects, I guess, like that, and
Even
maybe they
her own
had,
sister was like, "She's fucking crazy."
maybe they got along on the set. Could have been as simple as that.
You want this one? Get on soon.
Now wait a second. Didn't Momoa date the girl from different world? I was gonna say
Yes.
different strokes, but it's a different world, right?
He did.
Mixing them like
Lisa.
Lisa something,
Mm-hmm.
and now they split up, right? Did they
Yes, I
split
believe
up?
so. Yes.
You got me,
So you think he was getting that Herd coochie? You think he was unhinging her vagina during the filming?
Probably.
man. Does it? Every relationship has to be
Gotta speculate.
sexual? I don't think. Yeah, I guess so. Was it?
I kind of feel like
I want
everybody,
to take-
everybody.
Objection, speculation.
I feel like everybody's fucking Lisa. Is it Bonet? Thanks,
Mhm.
Bird. I feel like
Very
everybody's
good.
fucking though. Like keep it a secret.
Probably.
Don't you think that?
What do you mean? Like, you mean like in this world or like celebrities or both?
Both.
Yeah, I agree.
Both.
That's possible. All
Like
right.
people that you don't think about or like people that you wouldn't think.
Probably people you wouldn't think.
Okay. So I knew somebody. I don't want to. Again, this is none of my business. So I'm not going to go into it.
J Sab's friend.
So Bob Sacramento.
Uh-huh.
No, but I knew somebody whose family member cheated. Right, caught, neighborhood thing, big scandal. Like everybody knew about it. Really weird thing.
Ooh.
And what's weird is, like, so my kid is 6, going to be 7. My daughter's 4, going to be 5. So we're now just starting to kind of like mingle with the parents of the school and like the baseball team and all that kind of shit. And tell me if this is weird, but I
Okay.
find my brain wandering to like what are I find myself looking at the other parents going, who's gonna be the cheating parent? Because the odds that in a school district
Terrible.
where there's like thousands of kids, like somebody's mom's gonna fuck somebody else's dad, and I just keep looking at people going, I wonder if they're gonna be like
Like odds are, not
Is
all
it
these
this-
couples are making it. So
Right.
and somebody's gonna wind up banging somebody else after the PTA meeting, and I can't help but think that in the at the baseball game, like somebody will just walk by and I go, I wonder if she's gonna wind up fucking somebody, or I wonder if that guy's gonna wind up banging
or if it's already happening.
what if it's already
Right.
happening?
Yeah. So you have that, and I have. Whenever I get on a plane, I look around and I go, "All right, this thing goes down. Who am I teaming up with? Who's the first person that we got to take out? And who's the like if we're stranded on a desert island, who's going to be the survivors?" And
That's what you think about?
when I get on a plane, I look around and go, "All right, we're going to team up with this group here because they look like they're tough.
You have a weird zombie like apocalypse mindset.
Yeah.
So I kind of have like a combination of you both, you guys.
Okay.
When I get on a plane,
Who's gonna cheat on the airplane?
I think, which guy am I going to bang while my husband's sleeping? And I'm just kidding. I was like, I wanted to like incorporate
Pilot.
both of yours.
You just break it down by age. You just go, how many people here are over 70? And then there's like
who on
three
this
people.
plane is over 70? Raise your hands.
Right. So yeah,
Anthony,
you gotta
that's
look.
very interesting.
Odds are
That you
they're in
think
your
that.
favor.
Do you think? Do you? Well, you're starting to go to like kid activity stuff. Do you? You think about that stuff?
I mean, no, but I've thought about it in like other settings, like friend groups. Now our friends groups, because I have others, as you say, others. Anthony, you have others too, though.
Well, yeah, but you know what's interesting about our particular friend group who's gone back for 20 some odd years now. I cannot even imagine any sort of scenario where anybody cheats with anybody else inside this group, which I think is strange.
That is strange because
We're
you're
all
looking
good
around
friends.
at PTA guys going, I think that brunette over there is going to bang the blonde guy. Okay.
See, did you ever do that, Anthony, when you're sitting there and then the one person you wouldn't suspect is sitting right next to you?
Ooh.
What do you
That
mean?
sounds like a
Suspect
good
of what?
Netflix movie.
Like, all right, you're looking at all these other couples. Did you ever look at your own world?
Ooh, snap, Frank.
No, I'm kidding.
What do you mean? Like somebody that I know cheating?
Like,
No,
your
like
wife.
if you look like your wife, like your wife. Not that you would. It was a joke. Like if you're looking around at all these other couples, but little did you know.
Oh,
your
it's my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
Okay.
All
Where is she right now?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right then.
That's why we're taking on Friday, buddy.
Yep.
A sting operation. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
No, I do think about that. Yeah, I do. Because I do think that too. Like I'm not oblivious to like, oh, I guess it could be me. Like, it could be.
Could
But
be.
I just feel like it's weird because like we're all getting to know each other now, and I can't help but think like, I
what
wonder.
are these people?
Oh, like the
scumbags.
the new people.
Yeah, like Jeremy's dad might wind up fucking little Stacy's mom one day, and that'll be a whole fucking thing.
She's got it going on.
That's true.
Oh,
But conversely, though, in our friend group, I don't feel like I never got that vibe, or I just the idea of one of us sleeping with another seems so improbable. And
Yeah,
you
I
mean
agree.
with another, with like
Another
our
in the group, right?
within the group, and I think that's
Oh,
mostly because
okay.
we're all so unfuckable. I think, if I could be totally honest.
I'll give you that.
No
No offense to everybody else, but
partially why there's no threat there, but I can't help but think that
wait,
other
that was part of me. Go ahead.
other friend groups that have been closely associated with each other for like 10 or 15 years, I feel like they might have that like instance where like, oh, this one might, if gotten
that's
drunk enough.
That's definitely happened. I'm not gonna. Frank's gonna say, oh,
someone you know.
yeah, and husband and wife had friends. They didn't grow up together. They kind of got together later on, but then they had their friends met each other. So then they met each other, and the husband started talking to one of the friends in the group behind his wife's back.
Oh.
And him and the wife, him and the other girl kissed once.
Oh boy.
And, they were texting each other. And the wife found the messages on one of his devices.
Wow.
And she was honest. She was shocked.
How did that turn out?
She confronted the girl, but never told anybody else in the group, and never told the husband of the
about it.
Yep.
So the husband.
How did I know? Because I had access to this person's emails. Go ahead.
So the one that was doing the husband who was doing the kissing or the texting, it was never confronted.
Well, they got divorced, but
Well, all right. Well, there you go. You got to
he-
lead with that.
he was confronted by his wife, obviously, and she was
Yeah.
like, "What is this?" And at first, she kind of threatened to tell the other woman's husband, but she never
How do you
did.
get
So
not?
the husband never found out.
That's messed up.
Oh, but I want to add that she found it, and it was like 4 or 5 years since it happened.
Holy shit! So,
So-
it was already 5 years old when when she
Yes.
found it.
Oh boy.
Oh god, that's my worst nightmare.
So, that's not what ultimately led to their divorce, but
Didn't help.
it did not help. But like I said, that's just an instance of like they never had sex or anything, but it was within a friends group,
That's messed up.
and probably would have never
That-
ever guessed that it would have been these two.
So did that friends group dissolve because of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and not because of that, because no one found out. The friends group kind of dissolved because that couple got divorced.
Oh, they were like the core.
I think that some of the guys felt weird if they hung out with the girl and vice versa.
Mm.
So,
All right, June's saying I can see these women going after Frankie C. He's hot. Again,
Thank you, June.
I have to highlight that because that'd be the first time in the history of language that somebody has said that phrase.
That is
So
a
that's
rare.
amazing.
That's one of those phrases that you
Let me
say
see.
in order to activate like a Manchurian candidate.
I don't even think Frank's wife wants to fuck him. That's why I keep checking with her on a
Hey.
daily basis.
She's a trooper. I'll
I
tell
go,
you that
"Ye-
much.
I go, are you sure this is... She thought that question was going to stop on her wedding day, but it didn't. It just keeps right on going. I'll just text her every now and then.
She is a trooper.
Okay, you sure this is what you want? This doesn't seem right.
She has yet to turn me down, so we're good.
She's far too hot for you. She doesn't seem to ever kind of get that.
That I'll agree with.
Yeah,
I
which is
agree.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she sees here, but
and that's not
there's
a
something.
that's not a nice statement, Anthony. Nobody's gonna cheat within our group with each other because we're so unfuckable.
Yeah, that was messed up. That was effed up.
It's very true, though. I mean, at least okay. Let me walk it back a little bit. Every male in the group is quite unfuckable. I'm
That I'll
sorry.
give you.
There's not a decent looking human being in this crew.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't get any of it, honestly. And here's
Are you
what's so
kidding me?
bizarre. All of you women think you have the hottest guy, which is so fucking backwards to me. Like every one of you thinks like, oh, I found my person. Like, look how hot they are. And they're
Like,
all,
congratulations.
look at
Wait,
me.
Wait,
Look at
you
me.
really think this?
They're all disgusting.
You
Every
don't think
one of them.
half of us just settled?
Half, more like 100%.
100%.
It's not even close. No female overshot their, they all settled. All of them. Not even
Yeah,
close.
They dated down.
Not even close. Now look at this. I don't like to bring this up, but clearly by Laura L saying Frankie C's hot, we now know that June has a burner account. So there it is. There's their second account right there.
And
You better check the
that's
bots,
fine.
please. Again, check the bots.
I like let's see, you got Miss Justice, Team Frankie, thank you. Appreciate that. I gotta say I appreciate all the support in the chat. Thank you guys.
Hold on, this is also the first time this has ever been said, but
Dress is
Frank
green.
is the smart one. That's never been said.
Oh,
before.
that's.
I've been saying that for
disagree with
years.
that one.
Yeah.
That's you're not alone there, Misfit Mafia.
Honestly, though, do you disagree? Like, could you see somebody in the group cheating with somebody else?
In the
Can't
group.
see it.
No.
Even on a
It's super weird.
even on a drunken, crazy night.
Because we're all too good friends. We wouldn't do that.
And I'll go on and say this.
So did
Even
this
if-
group. So
even
did
if-
this group. They thought that. Okay.
I know that's what's so strange. Like
That's-
you can't.
Yeah.
You can't think you're special. I agree with you too. It just doesn't seem possible. But even if it was possible, even if I was to yield one iota that it could have happened, I feel like that window has closed because we're all just old and tired now.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I think that everybody has their own type in our
Well,
group,
yeah.
and there's no one like each other in the group. You
There's
know
no
what I
one
mean?
like each other.
Like no two guys in the group are like similar. That one girl would be like, oh, maybe,
You know, half the group is like siblings.
Yeah,
I
but
was gonna say Frank looks exactly like his brother.
yeah, but they're nothing like each other.
And your husband looks like kind of resembles his.
No, my
Not
husband
resembles,
and
but
his
you can tell
brother
they're
do
brothers.
not look alike at all.
You can tell they're
Yeah,
brothers.
you
but
can
I
tell
don't
they're
think they look
brothers.
alike.
So.
People have said they're brothers because they don't even.
But once you know it, you go, yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, because they have both have like dumb jokes that are not even funny. That's probably why. It's the humor. It's the humor.
I'll give you that.
Well, getting back to my own weirdness, I would like to know the comments from people if they think the same thing. If they walk into big assemblies or, graduation ceremonies or baseball, little league games, and they look around and go, "I wonder who's going to wind up fucking somebody else in this group."
Man.
I mean, not to be perverse, but I also think like as because like we've all known each other for a really long time. Frank and I go back to fucking fourth grade. Like as I watch my son and daughter like make their little friends, I wonder if this person is going to be around for the next 25, 30 years. Like
You never
that
know.
thought pops into my head quite often too.
Yeah, you never know. Plus, the way people move around these days, nobody stays in one area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just
So it's
wonder who's
harder.
going to stick there.
Yeah. Well, I got to say thank you, herself, Vanessa,
All
everybody.
right.
I got to thank
Okay.
everybody.
You don't need to.
There's
make
too many
this,
people in the chat to thank. I'm sorry.
Will you stop?
Jack me off as a Frank fan. Thank you. Appreciate
Will
it.
you stop it?
Holly. Thank you.
All right, Jumpstart Coffee Company, proud sponsor of the episode. Want to thank them. Hey,
There it
Memorial
is.
Day is coming up. What better time to show those
Honor the
Navy
troops.
SEALs that are still with us some love? You buy a Jumpstart Coffee Company bag. 50% of the proceeds from that bag goes over to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So, again, as we head into Memorial Day weekend and we take a couple of days off, it'd be great if you could pick up a couple of bags there and show a little love to the Navy SEALs, to Jumpstart Coffee Company, and of course, it supports this podcast as well. Use that promo code AOA15 and save 15% off your purchase. And also, don't forget, you have to do it before the end of May. If you do the subscribe and save, where you sign up to get however much coffee you need every month, they're going to throw in that pretty sleek tumbler. So that ends at the end of this month. So keep that in mind as you're heading into that.
It's a beautiful
purchase.
tumbler.
Link in the description below, or click the banner at the homepage of AnthonyOnAir.com. Josh Duggar gets 12 years in prison.
See ya.
This guy is a creep. We haven't really talked a lot about this, but thought it was worth bringing it up on this episode here that he got convicted. It's just weird that the guy from 19 Kids and Counting, is a child porn guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, this guy was accused of didn't he like do some stuff with underage? Like, didn't he? I don't know if I could say the words, like molest. I don't know if we get banned or anything.
Yeah, I don't know, but I also, Cuddles was telling me that the judge said that what was on his computer was horrific.
Oh, really?
God.
Yeah.
Ew, that's so creepy.
And he only got 12
I had the
years?
same reaction that you guys just had. He got 12 years and 7 months, but I also think he's up for something else too. That could extend that time. So he's 34. So hopefully this guy, he's got 20 years. He got sentenced up to 20 years, fines up to $250,000 because he's a convicted sex offender.
Oh, so he's already been, but he hasn't served any time, right?
His legal team is asking that he only spends 5 years in the slammer. And then he asked to he can't use the internet and shit like that afterwards. And he could use a computer, but it can't be connected to the internet. And if he does use the internet, he has to go somewhere and it has to be monitored. This guy's fucking sick. People like this should just be killed. What's the fucking point of keeping them around? Like whose life are they enhancing by being on this planet?
Right.
They're not making anybody's life better.
Yeah, they're really not. They should be fucking.
They're just drains on and everything, and they're not. Yeah, they're just throw them in a hole. Drop them off on a little island. Let them, and see ya stranded.
Listen, I'm not for slavery. Very against slavery. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe in these instances, we bring back
Right.
slavery. We make these people slaves. You get to just come out, you work in chains and shit, and we fucking throw you back in the hole, and then that's it. You get to be a slave.
Well, they'll be in prison. They won't do anything productive, I guess.
I would like to see manual labor and suffering, and
maybe they'll make some license plates or something.
Yeah.
No, so he's sentenced.
No, not license plates. I mean, like out in a field, on the sun beating down on them.
Yeah, torture.
Shitty, awful work.
That's fine.
Clean the toilets or fucking
do the shitty, crappy stuff. Absolutely.
Whatever that dirty jobs guy was doing, these fucking people should be doing for a living, like sticking around, not just for the TV show.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but you got to make sure they're doing it the right way. But that's true.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So his sentence begins now. He's in.
Jinx.
He's gone. He's in jail. I'm assuming. I feel like once you get sentenced, that's it. It's not like it starts in a week or anything. He's probably hauled away already.
He'll serve his time at a prison in Texas or at a facility in Arkansas. I guess they just take him right away, right?
See ya. Hasta la bye.
His wife. Oh, my wife also said that his wife gave him the "I love you" sign. How the fuck can you?
What?
How
Bye.
do you do that?
How do you stick with?
Cut ties. That's it.
Yeah, just fresh start.
Yeah, be gone with it already.
Bye.
You know what I mean? Like that's fucking crazy.
That's grounds for. I think you could safely say goodbye to that marriage.
Yeah, his wife will wait for him. What fucking?
Why? What are you waiting for?
The fuck you waiting for?
Can't wait for that gem to come back.
Seriously.
Ooh, Jinx.
Oh, that's it. Now you can't talk for the rest of the show.
That's it.
Where do you want to go next? Steven Tyler and the drugs, or Texas?
Texas.
Let's go to Texas.
Let's go to Texas. Can I just say this? I tweeted this morning and I stuck by it. I was off the internet all day today. I can't.
Whoa, really?
I can't do it with these things anymore. I have nothing. I can't read about it. I can't hear about it. I can't watch people argue about it. I'll let you guys give your thoughts and your end of it, but I can't fucking participate in these things anymore.
Well, I disagree, because we have to keep looking at it, and we can't turn it off. We can't ignore it. I think we have to keep an eye on everything that's going on, especially with this kind of a story and what's going on there. I mean, the fact that that this just keeps happening. I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole of everything. The fact that this just keeps happening shows that we've got a problem. That who was the coach? I don't remember his name. The basketball coach that came on and said he gave like a 2-3 minute speech, and he was talking about the shooting, and he was like, "We're being held hostage by 50 people. Everybody wants gun control. The overwhelming majority of the United States wants some form of gun control, background checks, whatever the case may be, and 50 people in the government are stopping it. Because why? Because the NRA, because they get money. There's another problem with lobbying. You got lobbying again. I've always said this: lobbying should be outlawed. You shouldn't. That's basically bribery. You're part of a group that pays government officials to vote in your way. How is that legal? Why is lobbying legal? So this is just another instance where you find everybody who's on the NRA side justifying something like this that's happened, and saying, "Oh, they say we should have more guns and more security guards and locks and all this crap," or they say, "Oh, he was mentally ill, so there's nothing you could do. He was just going to do this anyway, blah, blah, blah." That's like, no. The problem is that they're too easily accessible. These guns are too easily. The kid who did this, the grandfather living in the house, didn't even know he had the gun. Didn't even know he owned it. He was able to just go and get one. I mean, it's that easy. And I don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand. It's sad why we can't come together and and make laws that help, because you got, again, 50 people or so that are like, that are so adamant to keep their guns. It's like they don't give a shit anymore. It's like, no, the guns are more important than saving. You got to look at the numbers. It's unbelievable. There's a list of the countries and the mass shootings that go on. We are number one by a mile. Like just this year alone, I think it's like we're in the 200s, and we're not even at the end of May yet. Mass shootings that have happened, and like the next one, second place is like 7 or 8 mass shootings. So we're not even in the same league anymore, is because we have very few gun laws restricting any kind of access. It's unbelievable. So it doesn't make any sense to me, and I love how there are people, like there was a senator like going after Ted Cruz and fuck you, I had enough of your shit, and just saying, and just saying like this, we have to do something to help, and we're not doing anything. We've taken this job to help people, and we've done nothing. There you go, Bird. 213 mass shootings this year in this country alone, and I think second place. I don't remember I'll look it up, but I don't remember the country. But we are first place by a mile, and it's sad because and they always say the people who are against gun control are like, oh, it doesn't do anything. Gun laws don't do anything. But look at the countries all around the world that have gun laws and are nowhere near our numbers. They're nowhere near it. The what was it? Canada or Australia, the different European countries. Yeah, there might be a shooting, which is terrible, but it's nowhere near the number 213. I mean, I don't think we have even had 213 days. No, we're not even close to 213 days this year yet. That's more than one a day. I don't know how many days we're into the year already, but 27 school shootings this year. Yeah, it's unreal. The kids are being shot, and the people, I don't want to get into party stuff, but the overwhelming majority of people not voting for gun regulations are Republican, and these are the people that claim to be pro-life, and they're sitting there going, we're pro-gun. We'd rather protect guns than the children. So it's fucking, it's horrible what's going on, and that's my spiel.
Oh, I thought it was lovely.
Thank you.
Jay Sabs, you're a mom.
I think the biggest problem is that every state has different laws about gun control. In New York, it's tougher to get than most, but people still find a way. The problem is with getting, I feel like it kind of should just be like, not for its own state, just like for the country itself, because if you go into Texas and say they have like a stricter gun controls, they're going to go to the next state and buy one and bring it back there. So it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
But I also feel like, what makes an 18-year-old kid think that like it's okay to go to a school and shoot people? Like, obviously there's I believe that mental illness in this country is just, we don't take care of it enough at all. And it's just crazy to me that, Big Brother is watching us when we speak about buying a new sofa. And of course there's an ad for a sofa next time you go on Facebook. But then when this kid is like, obviously like it's a pattern. These kids will go and search things on the internet, but then there's no flag for that, for like local police or anything. And he posted something on Facebook, a half an hour before, and there was no like, overwhelming there was no response really. So It's like, obviously, like like I said, what makes an 18-year-old or even anyone for that matter to go like, oh, let me go like shoot up a school. But even, I think it's more so for the kids because obviously there's something wrong there. There is something wrong.
Sure,
All
we're
these
not
kids
saying.
have gotten bullied,
Yeah, we're
or
not. Excuse me.
it's crazy to me. I don't even know.
We're
But
not saying
again,
that there's no. Of course, the kid had some. Was not in the right state of mind. You can't be in the right state of mind and hurt children in any way. So that's given. But the fact that someone when not in the right state of mind can so easily get his hands on an automatic,
well, that's what I'm saying too. Because
you know,
why should they? Like, obviously, there's no. It's not strict there. you
it's
know.
not. You could get, it's like you go to a gun show and you just buy it, and there's no, there's hardly any checks, if anything, and there you go. You own a gun, and it's like, oh, that was easy, but a woman uh, doing something to her own body, having a procedure done to her own body. That's what we got to crack down on. It's like, what are you? What are we doing? There was the speech on the Senate floor,
Because guns aren't religious. That's why.
it's
That's a big thing too.
but I don't understand this unbelievable devotion. Now,
Jesus had an AR-15.
Yeah. Well.
It's in the Bible.
I don't understand the devotion that this country has. Yes, the Constitution's great, love it, wonderful, but it's not infallible. That's why there are amendments and we add stuff to it. The original Constitution did not have, voting rights for minorities and women, and so we had to add stuff. We had to change things. So the Second Amendment is archaic. It just says we have the right. Do you really think the founding fathers put uh, that amendment in there, going, "I can't wait till everybody walks around with guns that could kill, 100 people in a matter of minutes"? It's like, no, they wanted it for. It was for war reasons. They didn't have. It was 200 and somewhat, 200 years ago that they didn't have the technology and everything that they had today. And there was, one shot and you could keep a gun in your house. And we're not saying take away all the guns. We're saying take away the needless guns, the heavy automatic weapons that nobody needs. If you're saying you use it for hunting, well, then you're a shitty hunter if you need an AR-15 to hunt a deer. That and, I need protection for my house. No one's saying you want a handgun in your house. Okay, but does it have to be an automatic, AR-15 that could? There's no reason for that, other than This is something that could kill as many people, as it can in this short amount of time. There's no other reason to have that, other than to wave it around. And go, oh, look at this gun that I have. It's become like it's like a cult. You have these guns, and nobody goes, oh, maybe just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. So just because we have the Second Amendment doesn't mean that it's a good amendment, or it doesn't mean that it doesn't need improving. Maybe there should be a couple of sections underneath it that says, all right, maybe, because where does it end? Can someone, all right, right to bear arms? That's very, very broad. Does that give me the right to own a nuclear weapon? No, because that's ridiculous. That's overkill. I wouldn't need that. Why would I need a nuclear weapon? Why would I need? Okay, so then you back it down a little. Do I need a tank? No, I don't need a tank. So obviously, the Second Amendment doesn't cover every type of, arms. It should only cover personal, uh, small arms, I guess.
What do you think about what Jack is saying here? That honestly, they need to release the pics from the scene.
I'm sorry. Where am I looking? Need to release the pics from the scene. I mean, the only reason to do that, I see your point. It's probably to shock the gun people into, holy shit,
Yep.
this is serious. I think that's what Jack means on that. So if that's it's I don't know. That would be up to the families. It would have to, if they wanted to do that, it would be the family's choice to do that. And I don't know if that's That's their discretion. I don't think they would have the right to release anything like that, especially for as it involves children and a massacre like that. I don't think they would. Yeah, I agree with maybe the people in charge, the senators who are blocking stuff like this, should be given the photos. Say this is what you're okay with, and just show them all these pictures and say this happened, and the fact that you're not doing anything about it keeps making this happen. And everybody goes, oh, there's no proof of that. Every country in the world, pal, except ours, they all have gun control laws, and we're the only ones dragging our ass. I don't get it. And they're saying, "Oh, we'll just heighten the security at the schools." So what are we just making them prisons now? The kids go to school in prisons with people with guns at the door, and they have to
Yeah,
walk
no.
past them every day. I mean, they shouldn't have to go to school in fear like this. It's unbelievable. And the NRA, because it's a club that has guns and they have some money, that's what you're beholden to. I mean, you're selling your soul for that piece of shit organization. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I feel like it all comes back to money. NRA pays politicians. Politicians stick up for the NRA. It's that simple, and it's horrifying and terrible.
Miss Justice is asking, isn't there any background checks in Canada you have to disclose any psychiatric history? So every state is different.
Yeah, you would think so.
So I couldn't tell you. I know that if only because of that court case I was on, that if you have a license to carry in California or really any other state, and then you bring it into New York, that gun is being taken away from you, because even though you have a license to carry in any other state, you do not have a license to carry in New York. So you cannot have that anymore.
Yeah.
So I know we're strict here, but here's the thing, the difference is we're strict here, but it is easy to get a gun here. Illegally, obviously. Just like, and I didn't even know, my father just told me this. The guy who was killed over the weekend on the Q train. The guy who killed him, he turned himself in, but not before selling his gun to a homeless man. Giving some guy homeless man his gun for $10. So
And
it's
did your
like,
father tell you this, or did the homeless man tell you this?
I
After?
knew you were gonna say that. So it's like, I don't know. It's easy to get one here illegally, but not legally.
I mean,
So then people argue like, well, then just make it legal, and then people won't have them so much. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, but okay.
that doesn't. I feel like that's why have a law against something. I mean, like that's like heroin is illegal, and making it legal won't. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense to me. You have to have these laws because maybe you can't. It's going to be hard to get the guns that are out there now away, but they're always making new guns, and people are new buyers and stuff like that. So we have to make it difficult for anybody. And I don't understand the reason for these highly just army grade weapons. We don't need that. We have an army. And by the way, if your defense is, well, if the army comes knocking on our door and we have to defend ourselves against our own government, I don't care what you have in your house, you lose that fight. If your argument is that my AR-15 is going to protect me against my corrupt government that comes to my door and whatever, you're losing that fight. I don't care what kind of arsenal you have. The army has better. So that it doesn't make any sense to me, that one. Plus, I mean, again, you don't need an AR-15, you don't need an M16, you don't need these kinds of weapons in your house. This is what it comes down to. And yeah, in an ideal world, if you have that kind of weapon, they should be locked up, licensed owner, blah blah blah. but not everybody follows these rules, and
I think
it's terrible.
since we're not gun enthusiasts, it's not something we can understand. Like there's people in certain parts of this country who love guns,
I understand it.
who it's just not and I said this before, it's not something that we can understand because
I get
they
it.
just love it, and
I'm an
that's
enthusiast.
fine.
I get it. I'm an enthusiast about things. I
Like
understand
Seinfeld,
it. Seinfeld, but Seinfeld
making
doesn't hurt
women fap
anybody.
at the what?
Seinfeld doesn't hurt anybody.
Making women
This
fap over you does.
right. But you could.
It's
You don't have to be a gun enthusiast. I know people like their guns and they're crazy about guns, and they have their all different types, and they go to shows and they read about them, and they're on whatever. All right, so if let's say I'm a gun enthusiast and I want to go to a gun range, you should maybe the solution is you should be able to go to a gun range, rent it for a half hour and shoot a gun. Do you need to have it home sitting in a cabinet that your son could get access to or whoever could have access to? I mean, you might be a car enthusiast. Doesn't mean you have to own every kind of car in the world. You could admire them. You could read up about them if you want, but do you have to own every single car? No. You could be, into anything. You could be into Metallica. I don't own every piece of merchandise there is.
yet.
Yet. True, but there's got to be a limit, and the only way that happens is, I think, is you make lobbying illegal. That's the only. That's just legal bribery. I don't understand it. How that became a thing. It's literally just paying politicians to vote in your way. I don't get how that's legal. That's all it is, and that's the big deal for the NRA. The NRA pays. They donate to people's campaigns, and God forbid they piss them off. So it's absurd.
See, I can't get involved because I feel like between what was the one, Sandy Hook was horrific, and
Oh,
then
Sandy Hook,
the
definitely.
Florida one was horrific, and here we are in Texas, and
It's 19 children and
doesn't
2
matter.
adults.
It means
It's
nothing.
unbelievable.
Means nothing. If we didn't do it after Sandy Hook, there's no fucking hope. That's why I can't get involved. People argue and they scream and yell about it, and
Yeah,
It's
but
like
the only way I mean, if people stop saying things about it, then that's like what's the phrase? Silence is complacence or something
doesn't
like that.
matter. Doesn't matter.
At least
even
you're voicing yourself. You have to speak up.
oh, okay, well, no.
Go ahead.
Even with Sandy Hook, your son had some issues. You know that there was, I don't know if he was classified as bipolar and a few other things. Why would you ever give him a gun? Why? To me, that's like, she probably thought her son never had it in him to go do anything
No,
like that.
who thinks anybody would be capable of doing something like this?
But
It's horrible.
Ah,
You'd like to think, nobody could do this. Everybody you run into, I know everybody around me, nobody's capable of this, but this kid obviously, yeah, of course he was not in the right mental state. We're not saying that's, of course he was not well, but giving a not well kid a gun or giving him the help he needed. I mean, we could do a lot more to fix one of these things. 2 of these things. You provide more mental health in school instead of security guards and guns and shit. You take away the automatic guns. You provide more mental. Why is it? It could be both. One side yells mental health, the other side yells guns, and I happen to be on the side of you take away someone who has mental issues. You take away their gun, they're less of a problem.
It is both. You're right.
It could be both, but I think it's more gun than mental problem. But we could treat both. Why can't we come together and say, all right, here's both the issues. Let's solve both of them by enacting gun laws and putting mental health as a priority in this country as well.
Because with mental health, it takes a month to get an appointment for a doctor now. That's
Well, that's
it's
what I'm
true.
saying. Well, now, but what? Just like it's easy to get a gun now. I'm saying we could change that.
Yeah.
You know, if we put psychiatrists or counselors in schools more, maybe there's more money towards that. And we get more counselors in schools. Maybe there's regular, the students see a counselor. We had in high school there were student counselors, but I didn't even know student counselors were a thing until high school.
I'm sorry to say, but until Ted Cruz's kids are shot and killed, nothing is fucking changing.
I don't get his
Until you get a bigwig Republican who takes NRA money, whose kid gets shot and murdered in one of these schools, nothing is going to change.
It's unreal. It's all about money. I don't get how someone could be that cold.
That's why I can't get involved. I can't put. I literally did not. I spent the whole day reading for this podcast. I didn't read anything until 4 minutes.
Playboy doesn't count. Go ahead.
I only read the articles.
You pig. You pig.
But it's the truth. I can't. I checked Twitter this morning and I saw the whole fucking thing trending, and it's Biden's fault, and it's Trump's fault, and it's this and it's that, and it's the other thing, and my gun's not violent. My gun never harmed anybody. People harm people. I can't get into it. I just can't fucking do it anymore. I can't. It's
because people think that they know everything about everything.
It's not even that, because Frank made all great points, but it's just I can't get.
Excuse me. What about me?
Well, you made half of a good point,
what?
But I can't get involved. I can't get emotionally involved in it anymore because it's going to go absolutely nowhere. So 2 things that I just want to mention before I bow out of this again. One is that during Trump's administration, when he had a mass shooting, and I forget which one it was because there's fucking far too many. Might have been the Florida one. I don't remember. But they convened and they had like a little cabinet meeting and they had a whole fucking hoopla. And please let me know in the comments if you remember this. And the thing that I remember the most was Trump saying, Republicans saying, I think even Ted Cruz said, don't quote me on that last part, but they were talking about doing something about assault weapons. And they kept on saying over and over again, they didn't feel comfortable coming to the negotiation table during Obama's administration because they were afraid that if they gave an inch, he would take a mile. That if they came and they started talking about getting rid of extended magazines and bump stocks and all this shit, that they would lose it all. So they never talked to him about it. So here comes Trump into office. You have a Republican who believes in the Second Amendment. So the other Republicans came in and they said, we feel comfortable enough knowing that Trump won't do that to come and start talking and see if we could figure something out. And I'll give you 3 guesses to where that eventually wound up going. Nowhere.
So yeah,
that's one bit of hope that's just gone. Because I remember even saying like, oh, this might be a really good thing of having a Republican Congress with a Republican president.
Yeah, they got shit done
in the midst of this tragedy. Perhaps they will do something finally. And buckus.
Nothing will happen until the Republican side of the Senate, until they stop getting money from the NRA.
But they all sat there with, and this is not a dump on Republicans. My point is,
I'm dumping on Republicans.
They all sat there with this, like, well, we won't lose our beloved Second Amendment with Trump in office, so let's actually have an honest conversation. And I watched every single day and got emotionally involved. I was like, well, let's see what they do, and they did.
But even that's bullshit because they're equal branches. You got the executive branch, and the legislative branch. They're equal branches. You can't have one. They'll check each other's power. You can't say the president's going to take away our amendments if we give him one thing. No, you have to agree on things. So he'll only.
But they didn't even want to negotiate. They didn't feel comfortable.
That's not his problem. That's their problem.
But that's the realness of the situation. So that's one.
That's immature and ridiculous, and that's not the way you're supposed to lead a country. So I don't understand why they wouldn't be able to do that.
J-Sab's calling the New York Times. Frank calls Congress immature and ridiculous. That's groundbreaking. We've never heard.
No, I'm talking about that situation. I mean, we're not even going to talk about it you don't have to agree to anything yet. Just get in the room with the guy.
All right. Second thing I'll say is in 1994, President Clinton in between banging interns and
Coming on the dresses.
cozying up to Epstein,
Oh.
put an assault weapon ban into effect. And we had that in our country for 10 years. And there's a lot of controversy on what sort of cause and effect that had, because before the ban, the amount of mass shooting. So nobody can agree when you talk about this, it gets sensitive. People go, well, you can't. What defines a mass shooting?
Right.
And there's this and cause and effect. There's no people will tell you, this is the critique of this. People will tell you, if you could agree on what a mass shooting is, that before that during the ban, it didn't decrease all that much.
Mhm.
Therefore, saying, well, it didn't have anything to do with it. But it was studied. There's lots of studies out here. I will talk about the one from the New York University School of Medicine. Before the ban, if we're going to stick with the definition and agree that a mass shooting is 4 or more people dying, before the ban, from 1981 to 1993, 68 mass shootings occurred. Once the ban was signed into place, which, by the way, didn't end those sorts of weapons, it just meant that you couldn't buy them from here on out. So if you bought them the day before, you were fine. From that moment out, there were 53 mass shootings.
Oof.
So they're saying that it only went down by 15 in that 10 or so year.
It's not nothing. Plus, guns already existed at that time. Now I feel like it's not just about banning future sales.
Well,
It's
here's the point.
Yeah.
Here's the point.
Mhm.
And that's post-ban from 2005 to 2017. Again, we went from 68 to 53 during the ban. Do you know how many were between 2005 and 2017?
I don't even.
Oh, it's going to be the thousands. What? 2000?
309.
From when to when?
I'm surprised it wasn't that many.
From 2005
As-
to 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, and what took place during that?
309 incidents where 4 or more people were shot.
Okay, so that's more. That's a lot more after the ban.
Fucking considerably more. I mean, you're talking
I thought it was 1,000 because this year alone we're in.
well,
we're at the 200.
this is 2017. We're not talking about
Right.
the last 5 years.
Right.
So, I mean, it seems fucking crazy to me.
There's
But-
evidence all around the world where I got to pull up this stat. It's unreal about the mass shootings. Let me look it up because we're number 1, of course.
America.
Yeah.
Merca. Jack is funny in the chat right now. He's like, I don't own a gun. I'm happy with my penis size. Jack, how big is your truck though?
Good for you, jack me off.
How big is the eagle on the hood of your pickup truck?
Right.
Because that's gonna weigh into this. How small are the dicks of people with huge, oversized pickup
Minuscule.
trucks with the wheels and the lights under? There's like a pickup truck club that meets in the parking lot of the local grocery store. Mind you, I don't live in the Hamptons, but I could throw a baseball to the Hamptons from where I live. In fact, the town is nicknamed the Gateway to the Hamptons because my town is where everybody drives through to get to the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And there is a fucking pickup truck club that meets nightly at the local. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying average dick size has to be under 5.5, 5 inches.
It's about 3.2. Thanks.
Has to be. Because
I don't know that, but I know that.
You can't be that much into a fucking pickup truck. They got lights underneath and shit and the huge fucking tires.
People love their trucks.
I don't get it.
Speaking of penises, there was a lot in Jackass 4.5.
There are a lot of dicks in the latest Jackass movie.
Yeah,
Great
it's
segue.
It's like every other scene.
And some really weird looking dicks too.
The
Not that I
monster dick sequence is hysterical.
Oh, the opening one.
Took me a second to realize that was even a penis.
Me too.
I watched 4.5 and then we started watching the actual Jackass the other night. It's actually pretty funny. Would you ever do that to your penis? Would you ever do that to your penis? Tell me.
Nothing.
I would do what?
Let me tell you, the extent of what I would do to my penis is play with it, and put it into a woman. That is it. That is where I stop.
You gotta use it for urination and stuff.
Well, okay, peeing too. That goes without saying. There's 3 things I would do with my penis. I would
I
not.
can't find it.
I don't want to spoil anything, but the fucking Steve-O penis thing was the craziest thing I have.
Oh, I
ever
didn't
seen.
see it.
Which one?
Which one?
That part, maybe.
I feel like he did a couple of things. I
Wait,
could
you
be
didn't
wrong.
see Jackass Forever? What did you watch?
I saw the
Frank?
newest one.
No, Janine.
Yeah. The opening scene with the.
That's
You
not
saw that.
Steve-O.
So you didn't finish watching Jackass
No.
Forever? Oh,
No.
okay, then I won't spoil it for you. But
I mean,
Steve-O's stunt was the most. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, with the bees.
Oh, there you go.
I fucking.
Well, you know what's weird about that? They did the exact same thing. I mean,
On
I
Friday
guess they
night.
predicted it. No, in Family Guy, like 15 years ago, they were filming Jackass stunts, on the show.
Oh, maybe
and,
that's where they got the idea from.
and they called it Bee Bush, and they had Quagmire put bees all over his crotch. And I was like, oh shit, they got this right from Family Guy. But yeah, that was fucked up.
I mean, I couldn't. Like,
First of all, I can't stand a bee near my ear.
what,
I
a
get
bee or a penis?
Bee. Penis is that's fine. I'm like, okay.
Bees don't bother me. I could hold a bee in my hand. They don't bother me. But I couldn't put
That's crazy.
a
talk.
bunch of them on my wiener.
I just feel like also too when they do like a wiener stunt, it's for a very finite amount of time. It's like a quick little. It might be bad or painful, but it's very quick. That motherfucker was standing there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
How?
Wait, what do you mean? Like
Steve-O
he hold
was-
it? Yeah, because he didn't want to move. you don't want to upset them.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I guess they're not gonna. I don't know. I don't know how many times he got stung, but I think it was a lot.
Right
He
on
did-
his sack.
I don't think he
Ugh.
got. Did he get stung?
He
I'm
did.
sure he had to.
Oof,
They
Jesus
showed it.
Lord, man.
He showed it.
Steven Tyler's going into
Speaking of-
rehab, and
Speaking of sex,
this has reignited the fact that he has spent $6 million on drugs over the course of his life, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a lot to spend on anything.
Also,
I don't think I'll ever spend that much in my life on anything.
You know what else? You know what else too, Frank? With this, that video on TikTok just went viral of him playing with the kid with special needs. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that there was something. I didn't see the video though.
Some fucking guy is like he's got a special needs kid, and I don't know if he just happened to run into Steven Tyler or he invited him or what the case was, but Steven Tyler was fucking pushing this kid around and playing with him and fucking feeding him pizza like he was like that, like it was his job, like he was a special needs nurse or something. This
I
guy
love
was
seeing that kind of stuff.
so compassionate, and he is literally weeks later checking it. It sounds weird to me.
Oh, maybe his eyes were opened up a bit with that kind of stuff. Maybe that kind of humbled him a little.
I know one doesn't really have anything to do with another. You can still be a nice human being and be a drug
exactly.
addict. I get it.
Yeah.
But it just seems bizarre. Like you look at that video, like I guess here's what it is. I watch that video and I go, God, this guy is on like another fucking level. Like I don't see this as being like I'm a celebrity, look at me being nice to the special needs kid thing. It didn't come across that to me at all. Cause he was literally like, I've done nice things for people and I've never fucking
I don't
fed a
think you
kid
have.
a slice of like, and like was like wiping his mouth, doing
He was
shit
treating
like,
him like it was his grandkid, you know?
my wife just said, I don't do that with my own children. And there's not a more poignant statement that was ever said. Like,
Perfect.
like that is the truth. And he was doing it to this kid and didn't care.
I did see
At
some part
all.
of it. Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, to see people do that. And I'm assuming the kid, I don't know how old he was a fan of his, knew who he was and everything.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I love that kind of stuff. I saw a couple of videos of that that kind of thing. Probably not to that extent, but like Gordon Ramsay going to meeting kids and they flip out when they see him. It's such a cool thing when celebrities do that kind of thing. It's awesome.
So nice. But it just I don't know what it is. It makes me uncomfortable that he at his age doesn't have his shit together.
It doesn't matter what age. I mean, he's a rock star. It's number one.
It just makes me feel like I will like you have your things where it's like, oh, I gotta, keep my car cleaner, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You always kind of think that you're gonna get it done. and then you see somebody like him go like he's still trying to fucking figure it out, then there's no hope for the car. There's no hope for keeping that car clean for me.
Well, he's not going to be perfect, and plus, you know, he was in that whole 70s, 80s era when everybody was going nuts on that stuff. So it's not like he's a new rock star. I mean, I'm not saying it's justified that he's doing all those drugs, but he's had a very long career. How many decades? 4 or 5 decades now, or whatever it is.
It's been since the 5 decades.
So I mean, $6 million, a million and such a year on drugs. That's a shit ton of drugs. But I mean, every 10 years, a million, 1.2 million a year, a decade.
Kim Kardashian is catching shit for doing an endorsement for Beyond Meat, where she did like a video and she never really took a bite of the meat.
Do we have that video? Can we see that?
No, I can't. I don't think we can share that.
And she doesn't take a bite of the meat. Whatever it is.
She's like so good, and she's like just holding in, and people are like, "Wait a second, you never took a bite."
I gotta look this up. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's like everywhere.
Kim Kardashian, and what is it? Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat.
Okay, I'm looking it up because that's amazing. All right, it's a 30-second thing.
And then she like she like was like fake chewing and just like which honestly it makes me wonder. Like I understand.
Oh my god! All right, not for nothing. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just saw the clip, and I'm 9 seconds in, and she has half of a burger cut in half in her hand, and she's chewing, and there is no bite.
There's no bite
taken out of the burger. It's a solid, fully intact burger.
Yeah,
she's chewing nothing. That's incredible.
It's like what I know Kim is going to bring you a ton of eyeballs, but there's something about authenticity in ads, you know, like you could tell when somebody really means it and they don't, and that's just like
towards the end it looks like she's eating what looks like, I don't know, it looks like a cheese, but what's it called, like a cheese stick or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, the burger she's chewing is fully intact, and then she has a piece of sausage on a slice of sausage on a stick or on a fork, and she's chewing. It's like, did you take a bite, or is that not in your mouth? I don't know.
Can you put it in the chat?
Or I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, throw it in the chat if you can.
All right.
If you can't, then fuck everybody. Let them find it themselves.
Wow.
I love you guys. Putin cronies fed up with him, weighing replacements, according to a report. I feel like this could all be bullshit and made up, but I feel like we've also been talking about this and hinting at it for the longest time, that this guy is running out his course. The oligarchs are upset. The money being tied up is fucking them up. Thanks for putting it in the chat, Frank.
No problem.
That's why I made you a moderator today.
Hey, listen.
And you know, he's in this supposed surgery and in recovery, and nobody fucking knows, and you know who's in charge and who's not. I feel like somebody's gonna whack this guy out. It's just gonna happen between the Ukrainians, and Americans and Europeans who got whatever sort of their 007 is going on, and fucking now his own people that are pissed.
It's not looking good for Putin, and who cares about it?
Putin's got to be worried.
Yeah, he's got to be worried. I mean, this war. Someone said it on Twitter. I forget who it was. Said this is his Vietnam.
Yeah, because it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to go well for him.
He can't win it, and he's losing more than he's gaining anywhere.
Yeah.
Trump primary report card. I didn't look at every single race, but I think I don't know if he split or took a whatever. Maybe he won a little bit more than he lost. His candidates winning in the primaries, but he took a big hit with Georgia. He lost Georgia. Pence won. Kemp was the guy who refused to find the 11,000 votes for him. He beefed. That was his biggest. Again, he had a lot of candidates out there, and some of them won. So I'm not taking it away from him. But the biggest bat he was swung and missed, was that Georgia race. And Kemp, who got backed by Pence, even late in the game, Kemp, I would say he ran away with it, but it wasn't close whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And even people who were pretty fair with Trump what's his name? The fucking guy we talked about with the new show. Fuck is that guy? The British guy
Oh, I don't know.
called Meghan Markle the racist. Anyway, that
Yeah,
guy.
oh, that guy.
Even he was like,
Well, I can't think of his stupid name. But yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of challenges out there, and it's just is enough of the country tired of his bullshit? Because all he has one note: it was rigged, it was stolen. It's like, oh god, well, I feel like we're just all tired of it already. Even the people who support him, at some point, there's got to be some kind of burnout.
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan, right?
Well, that was Piers Morgan's point, which, by the way, was also our point, kind of from the beginning, which is like, at what point should you just dump this shit and start looking forward?
He's never gonna. He's writing a book about it. He's never gonna drop this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's starting to hurt him. I think this is a big ego loss, and I also think I know he's pumping Truth Social for for his own gain, but I think he might be hurting himself in the long run by not being on Twitter. Sometimes financially it makes more sense to go with your own thing or something that perhaps might pay more. Like there's a lot of stories like creators who hit it big on YouTube, Frank, like back early in the day when YouTube started gaining popularity, there was like Vimeo, which is still around, and there was like 100 other like video sites. And what they started doing was they all started paying popular YouTubers to make videos only on their site, similar to what Spotify did with Joe Rogan, right?
Right.
Come here, bring all your people here, so then all your people will just be here, which works now for Joe Rogan because he's that big, because he's a monstrosity. Right. But back in the early days of the internet, before YouTube was really a thing, it was a thing and people were popular on it, but not like Joe Rogan is now, is my point. But anyway, these other video sites would go out and they would pay these YouTubers and be like, come make your videos here. But people were, even though they were fans of one particular person, they were more into the platform itself. And so all those people who took money to go to other platforms made more money in the short term. But the people who continued to give away their shit for free on YouTube eventually got bigger. And then when YouTube started monetizing everything, they were the ones who fucking won. And I think that's the same thing that's happening with Trump. Yeah, it's your thing. And yeah, you're bringing people in. And yeah, it's your audience. But you're talking to far less people than you were when you were on Twitter. And I don't know, again, if Elon buys it and welcomes him back, he already said he won't come. That might be a mistake. So we'll see.
Plus, I mean, not for nothing, but whenever he says something outrageous or whatever on Truth Social, it gets passed around Twitter anyway. People talk about it.
That's the only way people hear about it.
But it seems to be, it's not like he's not on Twitter, technically,
Right.
I mean, he might not technically be on Twitter, but his stuff is still spread around. Plus, in the chat, I was looking it up while you guys were chatting about it. He will, just days after the shooting, he's going to be speaking at an NRA. Trump will be speaking at
Is he
NRA.
going to that NRA thing in Texas?
Yep. He said it today that he's still going to shoot. He's still going to speak at this thing. And ironically, they're right in the chat. They are not allowed. Guns are banned at the NRA convention.
You know what? Somebody sent me, again, I was off the internet today, but somebody did send me this. I thought that was in Florida. Is that true? I don't know where it is.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah.
But is that true? They're having an NRA convention and you can't bring a gun into it?
According to NPR, guns are banned during Trump's upcoming speech at the NRA conference.
Somebody sent me. But let me ask you a question again, because I'm a media savvy genius. Pay attention, Candace Owens. Is that because of the NRA or is that because of local laws or even the arena law, their arena rules?
I didn't read the full article. I just looked at it now. But I feel like the last time he spoke, I feel like the same thing happened.
Is that, is it Secret Service protocol? It could be a myriad of things. We all want it to be the NRA being hypocritical dicks.
No, I'm not even. It's not just the NRA that's hypocritical dicks. It's whoever attends this thing and whoever, you got Trump who's like pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, but we can't have, it's too dangerous. So basically what it says is they're banned from being in this room because you're not banning mental illness from the room. you're banning guns from the room. Well, guns don't kill people. People with mental illnesses. I thought,
You can't ban mental illness from a room, Frank. If that was the case, we wouldn't have a podcast.
That's true. But so their solution for not having a shooting at this convention is to ban the guns, right?
Mm.
So why isn't the solution for having a mass shooting at a school to ban the guns?
Stop trying to get me involved in this. I already told you I don't want to be involved.
It's just the talking out of both sides of their mouth is ridiculous. It's it's
Well, how else are you supposed to talk? I talk out of every side of my mouth. The front side, the side side.
Just one side. Give me one side of your mouth. I don't need both.
We're going to a show like this one.
Give me like mumbles from Dick Tracy. That's what I want.
Big word.
Big word. Dustin Hoffman's.
It was 17 years. 17 years to the day where I go, holy shit, that's Dustin Hoffman. I had no fucking idea.
You know what threw me for a loop that I didn't know? Speaking of Dustin Hoffman, you know the movie Hook?
Mm-hmm. That was Dustin Hoffman too.
Well, Dustin Hoffman's in there, but it made me think of, did you know Glenn Close is in that movie?
In Hook? I feel like I did know this. What did she play?
Do you remember this? The first scene with Hook in it, when Robin Williams first lands in Neverland, he's brought onto Hook's ship, and there's the guy put into the box with the scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
That's Glenn Close.
That's Glenn Close. Wow,
dressed up as a male pirate.
That's amazing.
Which is insane, and I had no idea until just a couple.
You should do one of those fun fact things on TikTok.
I should do that. I'm sure someone's already covered that.
I follow a guy who literally does that. I don't follow him, but he's been coming up on my feed, and I can't stop watching him. Where he does things.
That blah blah blah. That guy.
Yeah, things you might have missed. And he's like, "Did you know that?" And this thing, and I go, "This guy is gonna kill himself. Like he looks so
miserable,
fucking miserable." I go, "Is he happy? Like, did TikTok save his life? Because who would give a shit?" And he's like,
"That might be his gimmick."
And he's like, "Follow me for more tips." And I'm like, "You're not happy with anything. Why?
Yeah,
get out of that room.
It
Go
worked.
to the park.
You followed him.
I'm not following. He keeps showing up in my alley. I want to know what I missed in the movies, but at the same time, I'm worried about this guy's well-being. He's so fucking unhappy.
So write him.
It reminds me of watching a hockey player do an interview. Like, what'd you think of the goal you scored? Yeah, I was excited. You know,
it's a good goal. Yeah, you got to score goals to win the game.
Yeah, it's like you're not in a fucking library. You're in an arena. People are screaming at you. Why don't you show some fucking emotion?
There should be one person on the, in the organization that like coaches them on how to speak to the press.
You know,
do they have that?
They coach them to sound boring.
Yeah.
Just once, I want to hear a player go, "Did you see that pass?" I didn't think I could do it.
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen.
It reminds me of Brendan Fraser in was it Bedazzled or Bedeviled or whatever the hell that
I'm going to
was.
give 110%.
Yeah, I get 110%. That win, I should 110%. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Modgate, Frank, we got to end there.
Modgate. So what you brought it up, so go ahead. Your thing. This is your thing.
So common for YouTube channels, Facebook channels, whatever. But we got like kind of hit with a bot last time around.
Mm-hmm.
These bots are weird, and I don't even know what they do really. This one was like it was like
an insane person.
It was not even a person. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. It's just a computer program. Like, and I don't know
whatever it is,
how it finds us or whatever it does, but they just start posting random shit, like crazy stuff. And
crazy, racist, unbelievably terrible things.
Yeah, and what's crazy is it was like, I don't know, but the names of the people just randomly change. So like when you ban one, then the next thing comes in and the name is just slightly different from the last version of the name and all this jargon. So
but it eventually stopped. We got to hand it to the mods. They got rid of it.
Well, I had to deputize people live during the pod.
Exactly.
Bird, bless her heart, was like, "Do you want to make me a mod?" Because I don't know what it was, and this is not a knock against Robin or Miss Justice. They're phenomenal. They are also human beings. I'm sure they had something to do or stepped away for a moment or whatever the fuck it was. And so D and Bird and we popped them in, And then I got a message from Haywood Jablomi, who is one of the more respected members of our community.
Of course. Gotta love Hey Would You Blow Me? And Jack Me Off.
They're just the best. And I wouldn't want it any other. I wouldn't want, like aristocracy. I wouldn't want something sophisticated sounding. Hey, would you blow me?
Nobody's blaming the mods, by the way. Robin, it's all good. Justice, all good.
Yeah, no reason to apologize. None whatsoever.
Reason at all.
Freak occurrence. But I just, again, back to the point where Hey, would you blow me being a staple of our community is just so appropriate and so makes me happy. But I got called out by so anyway, so we started. So we're doing the show, which is trying to do the show and do this and that, and this starts happening. So I'm killing people. Whoever's Bird jumps in and killing people. So then people started just like, oh, make me a mod. I'll help and take care of it. So that's what I did. I couldn't even tell outside of D and Bird, and there was a few others. I don't even remember who. I just started making people a mod who were asking for it. That will,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
take care of it.
So it was like kind of not random, but you were just throwing mod certification out there as best you can.
Let me put it out there for everybody to understand. We're the Ukraine being attacked, and I was Zelensky. I didn't have time to interview people.
Easy.
I took action. Like Zelensky and I are one in the same. We just take care of business and think about it all later. I understand the guy. You know what I'm saying? We're on the same level.
So you guys were like separated at birth.
Cut from the same ilk, Frank.
Right. Yeah, you got the shitty end of that ilk.
You ever see ilk cut?
No, I haven't. But I think I have some ilk in my fridge. Might have gone bad though.
Anyway, Hey, would you blow me said that we shouldn't be making non-members into mods. After seeing the spam that hit the live chat feed, I thought it would be easy for those jackasses to turn around as another profile and ask to be a mod simply to fuck with the show. I did think of that. I did think, what if?
Yeah, but you didn't pick just new people to do. You picked people we know who are real.
Well, D I know, and Bird, of course, I know.
Exactly.
They've been around for a while, there was maybe one or two others that I did,
Right.
I'm not saying Hey, would you blow me is wrong, but he called me out on my shit here. I was Zelensky in the moment. So, fucking Brian just made me laugh.
Oh yeah, he put a wrench in the thing.
He just put a wrench emoji next to his name.
Congratulations, Brian.
That was perfectly timed. Honestly, that was perfectly timed. But he's right. Should we demod? Okay, so here's a couple of parts of this. So Hey, would you blow me calls me out. Okay, it was a risk. It paid off. It wasn't one of those people. But does the point stand where we shouldn't have non-members being mods?
I think whoever's a mod. Okay.
You can respond. I'm going to give you the chance, but I want to give you the whole thing. I thought
you were done. I'm sorry.
Then Deborah agrees, saying people whose names I had never seen before became mods. Maybe I'm paranoid, but those names appeared the same episode as that insane spamming.
Well, did you make some first timers mods?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I know I made a couple of people a mod that I don't really particularly recognize. They just they were willing to help at the moment. We were being attacked. I don't know.
See, you know how to make the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation.
The third part of this is prior to the show, when I told Frank we were going to talk about Modgate, he said, "Can you make me a mod?" And so the third part of Modgate is Frank didn't even believe that I knew how to make somebody a mod.
No, that's not what I meant. I just meant, can I be a mod?
No, he made me prove it.
That's not true. I just wanted to be a mod because I figured, I don't know, I'm on the show.
Can I be honest with you? I can't trust you to be a mod, though.
And I'm not even in the chat when I'm
talking.
I'm not even like typing when I'm talking on the show. My only time that I'm in the chat is, I'll talk to you live now, but if I'm typing, it's before the show, but I'm sure I just wanted to be a mod just because I'm on the show, and I asked for so little.
That's for so little.
I just wanted the distinction. Just wanted to be part of the club. Why won't you let me in the club?
Can I tell you what also made me like Bird jumped right in? I don't know if it was D or the other one. Forgive me if I'm getting this wrong. And again, this is not a critique, but one of the people I made a mod, like then like canceled Paul, who's like always here and charming and wonderful. So I had to like reverse it.
I
then
got
they were
mod
like-
happy.
And they were like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was just hitting the fucking.
You ass.
I forget who it was.
I don't
but-
think you should be in charge of that.
No, well, that's the funny part. I shouldn't be in charge of making people mods.
So how do you transfer it?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Make me. I'll hand out the mod.
Almighty and powerful mod. Well, can a mod make somebody else a mod? I don't even know. Mod.
Well,
is
I'm a mod now, so I could check.
Go like this, Frank. Look at me. I am the mod now.
I'm the mod. Look at me. All right. So what? All right. Let me see. I'm gonna pick.
I'm not going to lie to you, Frank.
Doesn't
That's
look
not-
like I can.
That's not what I'm here to do. I know there's a section of YouTube where I can go to see who the mods are, and I don't. It's going to take me 45 minutes to fucking find that. I don't know.
What is this? Amateur hour? What are we
And
doing?
then Frank goes, "Do you know how to make somebody a mod?" I go, "In the chat, I can click on it and make
So
you a
you
mod."
don't know how to. You don't know what you're doing anyway.
That's the only
It's
way I
a
know how
valid
to.
question.
That's the only way I know how to do it. I don't know how to do it any other way. I have to figure it. I have to find that place where it is. I don't even know where it is.
You probably just have to type their username in into blah to the place, the mod place.
The mod.
Mod
you don't
squad.
even know. You have
Can
no
we call them the
idea.
mod squad?
That could be good.
You guys are the mod squad. All our moderators. You have just been dubbed the mod squad.
Brian said the bots focus on one person. Now, J Sabs,
She got the brunt of the.
who could be an
The bots.
egotistical person, it thinks everything's about her sometimes. She goes to me, "Oh, the bots were attacking me." Now, I didn't see all. Is that true? Now you're kind of saying it.
Kinda, yeah.
I go, I don't think they read. I don't think they look at what they're attacking. They just kind of go in and say some crazy shit.
The descriptions were a little weird. You could tell it was bot descriptions, but they were saying the woman needs to do this, or the woman, the woman should be not kicked off the show. Blah blah blah. It was very.
It said the woman should be kicked off the show.
I can't say it, that was it verbatim, but it was.
That just
similar
sounds
to
like the
that.
regular audience, if I could be totally honest with you.
It probably was, but they had a swastika next to their name,
Oh.
so I don't think that was one of our regulars.
Well, they do have YouTube in Alabama, last I checked. So
That's true, but they like to hide, those people. So, yeah. So it was weird. It was kind of targeted toward Janine, without saying, it was. You could tell it wasn't anybody who really watched the show. It was like the woman is too crazy, needs to go away or something. It needs to be taken off. And it was like, all right, this person obviously doesn't know. Yeah, we're attacking a female, right? Exactly. It was very. It wasn't.
so she wasn't crazy because I told her she was crazy.
No.
She messaged me and she was like, "I'm going to end it all," and I said,
Here it is. No, that's not cool.
"No." She goes, Of course, it had to be on me," and I go, "You're fucking crazy." I'm telling her now. I have to apologize to her. I go, "You're crazy. It's a computer. They don't see what it is." So I was wrong. Clearly, I was wrong. I need.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't say like J Sabs was this or that. It did, but I guess the computer, whatever it was, the bot recognized out of the three of us, they recognized the one female and just started throwing out bot phrases or whatever it's programmed to do.
So the bot was a Republican, is what you're saying.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Probably an NRA member too.
When Jay Sams noticed the bots, it broke my heart. Our good pal Brian. See, that makes me sad. That breaks my heart now.
That is sad.
Because Jay Sams took a lot of shit at the beginning when she first joined the podcast. She took a lot of shit, and not just like for a few episodes, but for months.
Yeah,
Like-
it was not cool.
For months, took a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and Brian can attest to this too. Like when we were going through that era, it wasn't on the internet. Like when people were giving us shit, we were in a studio by ourselves. And it was just some ass fuck calling on the phone that nobody else heard because we didn't put them on the air. It
I don't
still
know about
feels
you. I never got that, but I don't know. I can't speak for you. Everybody was fine with me.
fuck you. It still feels shitty and awful, but it's not like or like people obviously comment on the internet and that you have to deal with that too. But at least it was contained, whereas here it was like in the early days of us blowing up and people giving her shit. That was not an easy thing to go
No, no, and it's not cool. Especially like that was just nonstop for I don't know how long, for like 10 minutes. So I'm glad that was curbed. Everybody was no misjustice. It was the bots. It was just targeting her for no reason.
And let me just say too, I apologize for that noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was our thing dying. Let me just say too that it makes the show worse when you abuse J Sabs, because then it's harder for Frank and I to abuse her. So you know what I'm saying?
You pull the rug out from under our jokes.
Right. Then we can't do it. Then it seems like we're all piling on. But when it's, I'm
This
not saying the occasional jab's not good.
Oh yeah, get them in when you can. That's what she said. But
the sound machine's dead.
I still don't know why you're in charge of all these things.
I don't know why.
You got to ship some of that stuff our way.
I got the sounds. I'm the worst guy at the sounds. I had the impression face thing. I'm the worst guy at the impressions. I'm putting people in charge of the live chat. I clearly can't handle
people you never heard of. I think you put one of the bots in charge. You made one of the bots a mod.
It's so funny because whenever I read a critique of myself, I'm like, this guy's a fucking asshole. This is bullshit. And then like 3 lines in, I'm like, man, the guy kind of had a point.
You're an ass. Jerk.
Yeah.
So
right, now I feel like we need to. Are we all in agreement? I need to demod everybody I modded. Obviously with the exception of
I don't think so.
The people that we know.
Right. I think if it's first timers, people that were honorary mods for the day, thank you for your service. But I think we have to kind of recognize the name at least, know that they're not just, know that they're actual people that we've interacted with, I think. Like D and Bird and Justice. We know these people.
Well, obviously they're fine. But like I think there was 1 or 2 that was kind of like, oh, I love the show. I'll be a mod and help you. And I was like, oh, okay.
And you ever recognize their names?
There's a lot of I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but there's a lot. Obviously, we know a lot of the names because there's always constant interaction and funny lines, and you remember that stuff. But not everybody. Like, there's so many people who aren't in the live chat or talk through DMs that people wouldn't have no idea that I know because there's a lot of interaction. It's just not.
Well, yeah,
public.
as long as you know them.
But I'm saying a lot of people watch the show too and never say peep.
That's true. Absolutely.
Like, we get those comments and messages all the time. And it's I love that, and they'll name like 6 things, and you're like, oh, fuck,
which is great. But if we're talking about who's in charge of stuff in the chat, I think it should be I think it should be people who participate in the chat. No? Yeah, you could be a fan of the show and watch it every time we do a show. But if you're an active participant in the chat,
I think it's unfair. I think if you're not an active participant in the chat and you want to be a mod, you still can be. Not everybody is fun.
Right. No, that's why you're in charge of it.
A lot of funny people in the thing. But not everybody has that. People just like to listen or watch.
Absolutely. So then if they just like to listen and watch, then they're probably not even in the chat.
No, they still are.
Then I don't know what to tell you. What do you want from me?
That's my point. There are people that are
no answer that's
silent.
going to make you happy. So
there are people that are silent that watch and listen all the time. They're just silent.
So then make them mods too. What do you want? How many mods can we have?
I don't know.
Is there a limit?
I'm saying, do we take that away from those people? That seems unfair.
No, I feel like how many are there? If we have 10 people now, or whatever it is, moving forward, I feel like whoever's a mod now can be a mod, stay a mod. And then moving forward, you only make mods people that you recognize. That's fine.
Can Steven Tyler be a mod from Rehab? Jack me off once.
If Steven Tyler contacted us and said, "I want to be a mod on your podcast," I think we kind of have to make him a mod.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a given.
Steven Tyler wiped pizza sauce off of a special needs child. He could do whatever he wants.
He gets a free pass.
Yeah. I don't think I would even bust him for doing coke in my living room if he did. I'd be like, that fucking time he helped a kid.
Yeah. What are you gonna? You look like an asshole. You'd be the asshole in that scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be the Amber Heard. There'll be no.
Yeah. Nobody would side with you. You made the guy who helped a kid with special needs eat his pizza and hung out with him for the day. You made him clean up the coke in your living room.
Heartless
Dare
bastard.
you, sir?
I know. All right. You good?
Yeah, good as it gets.
Literally, the thing broke again, so there's going to be no music to end the show again. We'll have to
All right.
And,
Should I bring it up? I'll bring up the music.
end on a whimper.
Is that the whimper we're looking
That's
for?
the whimper.
All right, here you go.
There we go.
Anthony on Air podcast. I'll take it over.
How do you do it? I'm tired of doing it.
Make sure you sign up, become a member. 3 different levels. Choose the one that's right for you. You get all kinds of different stuff. You get to be a more interactive person when we do these shows. You get to be a part of the show for the coat rack. What's on the coat rack? So my wife subscribes to this thing where she gets a box, and this is one of the things. Am I still muted? No. All right. I could tell when you mute my mic, you jerk. It's a picnic blanket.
Nah, you got it out. All right,
I
it's a
got
picnic blanket.
Picnic blanket. Jerk.
Just trying to be a dick.
You don't have to try very hard. So make sure you like, subscribe, and become a member. AnthonyOnAir.com. You guys rock. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Leave a comment. We love talking to you.
And don't forget, no show Friday.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.
Pitch perfect.